Hello YouTubers, this is Gold Standard User 924 coming at you with another video. So this is going to be another wrestling related topic for today, and basically in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit of what I feel about the WrestleMania 31 card so far, and but more importantly this is going to be more of a rant regarding the kind of more of like the trend of odd number WrestleMania events that have occurred throughout the past 30 so years or so. Now, looking from the WrestleMania 31 card so far, only 4 matches have been announced. So we're kind of getting early. We're pretty much early into the WrestleMania card. So it'll probably be the final one. The final card will be announced maybe shortly before, maybe the week before WrestleMania kicks in. But we're just transitioning out of Fastlane, so so far there's only a few marquee matches that have been announced. You have the world title match between Brock Lesnar defending the world title against Roman Reigns. Sting to take on Triple H following their confrontation at Fastlane. Bad News Barrett announced to defend the Intercontinental title in a multi-man ladder match. And so far, they haven't announced the exact participants and the exact number of participants, as a matter of fact, as to who's going to compete in the ladder match. And I thought they were actually going to only do this for last year, but they brought back the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So I'm guessing that's going to be kind of like a tradition from each WrestleMania onwards. So, so I listed some of those 4 matches that are announced. So far, it isn't really shaping up to be all that spectacular, and, I can understand some fans' frustrations, and, I sort of feel the same way. So, I mean, with the whole thing of, WrestleManias having this sort of track record, especially when it comes to, the odd number of WrestleManias, a lot of them tend to get not very well received if you think about it. I think the latest you could get is maybe, it's kind of hard to remember exactly which particular odd number WrestleMania has been very groundbreaking or very positively received by the general wrestling fandom. You've had some pretty good WrestleManias, especially a lot of them being the even numbers. And, you had some pretty terrible ones, such as, most notably, WrestleMania 9, the main event being Bret Hart and Yokozuna, but also had a lot of other clusterfucks, like The Undertaker and John Gonzalez. WrestleMania 11, you had, LT taking on Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event. And then, other than that, and Shawn Michaels and Diesel for the WF title, that WrestleMania, the 11th WrestleMania, wasn't anything memorable outside of those 2 matches. WrestleMania 13, it's sort of the same thing. I mean, Stone Cold and Bret Hart is often the marquee match that everyone talks about. Undertaker and Sid Vicious for the WF title wasn't really that memorable. So 13 kind of gets a lot of flack, just as much as 11 and 9. I haven't really seen any of the other ones from the Hogan era, so I can't really speak for that. But 3 is normally the one that's most well received. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, Macho Man Ricky Steamboat. But, let's see. But there are also some pretty good odd number ones. Like WrestleMania 17, the TLC matches, and Stone Cold and The Rock for the WF title. Undertaker and Triple H, the first encounter. So, so there are some WrestleMania, especially some odd number ones that are pretty good, but most of them, it's kind of hard to remember, exactly when was the last time there has been a odd number WrestleMania that's been, that everyone can agree on that it's very enjoyable and that it's very replayable to watch over and over. 19, was actually pretty good. Um, let's see, what was the main event in 19? Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, um, Rock and Stone Cold, the third and final encounter. Um, Hulk Hogan, McMahon in a street fight. Um, that was actually a pretty good one. 21 was good. 23, I think 23 was probably the last good one, or if not great. John Cena and Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Batista, the two world title matches I mentioned. Let's see. The Money in the Bank was pretty solid that year. Um, Battle of the Billionaires, even though the story was kind of ridiculous, but even the match itself wasn't too bad. But it seemed like 23 seemed to be the most, probably the latest where a WrestleMania from that particular the odd number WrestleMania was very um, enjoyable at best. Sorry about that. I was just about to sneeze, but yeah. But then you get to like some of the ones from the universe, the PG era, whatever you want to call it, but I'd rather call it the universe era. But let's see, 25. Yeah, that gets a lot of flack, especially the recent ones. Let's see what I can remember. Let's see, Triple H and Randy Orton main event for the WWE title. Um, Taker and Shawn, the match that everyone talks about, but that was actually pretty cool though. Um, let's see, Jeff and Matt. I think they had like a hardcore match of sorts. Um, let's see. Uh, Hold on one moment. They were supposed to have a tag title unification between Miz and Morrison and the Cologne brothers, but they bumped that to the dark match. And that was basically before the WWE Network, before WWE started to have kickoff shows on YouTube. Um, so that was kind of stupid. And then they like spent it all for a freaking Kid Rock performance. 27, I know that kind of gets a lot of shit too. Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole. Oh gosh. Yeah, that spent way too long on that match, even though it should have been a squash. Let's see. Randy Orton CM Punk is kind of underrated. Um, Undertaker and Triple H was probably the best match on the card, without a doubt. John Cena and The Miz for the WWE title was kind of felt bad for The Miz, basically. He was kind of a plot device since the whole feud centered around Rock and Cena, and that was meant to be like the slow build up for their match at 28, since that was in Rock's hometown. So, Rock never didn't get a chance to WrestleMania. Rock couldn't wrestle at 27, so they had him as the special guest host. And then 29 was just a bunch of rematches where wrestlers are trying to get their wins back from the first match that they lost. Triple H got his win back from Brock Lesnar from SummerSlam. John Cena got his win back from The Rock after he lost the first time at WrestleMania 28. So from that track record, WrestleMania odd numbers haven't really been well received. I'm not sure if 31's gonna try and break that record and turn out to be positive, but from the looks of it, it's not really looking so hot. Um, so I already announced about the 31 card. Anything could change from here on out. Card subjects to change, like they say. They're bringing back the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I thought that was going to be an anniversary thing. Especially from WrestleMania 30, that is. Oh, I don't know. And then, Daniel Bryan, the wrestler that ended up winning the world title from last year, is kind of stuck in limbo. Hard to believe. And I mean, there's speculation that he's going to fight against Sheamus, but I mean, I know they had the whole history of the whole 18 seconds incident where Sheamus squashed Daniel Bryan in the opening match. Um, I mean, they were actually also going to do that last year, but because of the whole fan outcry, Orton and Batista were supposed to fight 1-on-1, but then Bryan got inserted in the triple threat. I don't know, man. WrestleMania 31. Hopefully they'll announce more matches, but so far, I mean, it's not really looking so hot. So that's really all I have to say about that. Yeah. So till next time, Gold Standard 0924 signing out.